Now, for the final topic here, we're going to be looking at the sixth and final specific outcome within Develop Trigonometric Reasoning for Math 30-1. In this outcome, it is expected that students will prove trigonometric identities using reciprocal identities, quotient identities, Pythagorean identities, sum or difference identities restricted to sine, cosine, and tangent, and double angle identities restricted to sine, cosine, and tangent. So again, that's a whole lot of words, but what do they mean? Well, we talked about equations last time, so we know that solving things like this will be coming. A trigonometric identity is one where you cannot solve for theta because it's true for every possible value of theta. So, for example, if we take a look at a triangle, right angle triangle, angle theta here, side r, well then we know that our opposite side here, right, sine theta, is going to be given by this expression, or the opposite side is r sine theta. We could say the adjacent side is r cos theta. If we then take this and apply the Pythagorean theorem, what we get is r sine theta squared plus r cos theta squared equals r squared. This gives us r squared sine squared theta plus r squared cos squared theta equals r squared. Now, based on this, we can divide everything by r squared. As that's allowed as long as r does not equal 0, and if r equals 0, we don't have much of a triangle. So it's safe to assume r is not 0. That leaves us with sine squared theta plus cos squared theta equals 1. This is an example of what they refer to in this outcome as a Pythagorean identity, because we get it from the Pythagorean theorem. Go ahead and graph it if you like. If you have sine squared theta plus cos squared theta as your y1, when you graph it, you are just going to get a straight line at y equals 1 for your graph. Because it doesn't matter what value theta has, this equation is always true. All mathematical identities are based on that idea. A mathematical identity is an equation that is always true regardless of what the specific values or nature of the variables or functions within it are. So this is one that tends to be a little more challenging, a little more complicated for most students than a good chunk of the course. So we will be dealing with these probably a day on each of these 5 points as we're going through it. Just because these do get to be more challenging. We might combine the first two into a day just because there are limits in terms of how much time we have available, but this is what's coming. This will be the trigonometric reasoning outcome that we'll be spending more time on than the rest. So this is your nutshell preview of the trigonometry unit that we're going to be seeing in Math 30-1 come the fall.